you've been playing the game much lately, you've probably been terrorized by an early game Isol who's been coming at you with an AK-12 and a variety of crit items, and that's because this early game Isol build that has been fairly popular recently is an absolute powerhouse in the beginning of the game. So today I would like to bring to you one of the more refined AR Isol builds, which is Ezter's take on crit AR Isol. Now, there are some more advanced ways you can be building this build, and I'll be going over them later in the video, but for now I'm going to go over the most basic 6-item version of the build, which involves an AK-12 as the main weapon. Now, AK-12 is incredibly powerful after receiving multiple buffs over the last few months. It comes with 94 attack power, a decent amount of vision range, and 25 critical strike chance. This weapon is extremely powerful, especially if you build it early in the game. Unfortunately, it is held back by the fact that it is a 3-zone weapon and requires a diverse number of materials, so that is the only thing holding it back. However, with this build, we'll be finishing it relatively fast, and as soon as you finish it, you can pretty much bully anybody around you and take free early easy kills. So now that we've established that the weapon is strong, what else in the build is so dominant in the early game? What makes this build tick in the early game to be so powerful? And that is Crusader's armor plus Bucephalus finishing all within your first 3 zones. The idea is you're going to be going Hospital, Cemetery, Chapel, or Cemetery, Hospital, Chapel, any combination of these 3 zones. Once you finish this, you'll have your weapon, your armor, and your shoes. So this gives you chasing power, this gives you a lot of early damage, and this also gives you a lot of early damage. Additionally, we do have this nice synergy between the crit chance on the AK-12 and the Bucephalus on your shoes. So with these 3 items combined, if you land 1 Q on pretty much anybody, you can just auto attack them to death and they will die in a very, very short amount of time. Additionally, if you happen to get an early leather, you can pick up a green quiver. You don't necessarily have to finish the lace quiver to get that early attack speed boost. With the green quiver, you're going to be attacking a lot faster. Your best bet for getting leather early game would be off of the chickens in Chapel. There's a lot of chickens in Chapel, there's about 8 of them, and any of them have a 50% chance of dropping you leather. So if you get that green quiver, that's a big early power boost as well. And as for the sort of mid-game, late-game transition, you want to be focusing on farming animals along your route, specifically wolves and bears, because they have a chance of dropping you meteorite or moonstones, which can finish your cube watch. Cube watch is an essential part of this build. The cube watch gives you a ton of attack speed, which gives you the opportunity to get a lot of your hits in very fast to trigger your Q even faster, making it deal a lot of damage. It also will build up your heat meter, which is part of the AR weapon skill that will let that be available in most fights where you wouldn't otherwise get that chance. AR needs attack speed in order to actually get access to its weapon skill, because you have to attack a bunch of times before you even have a chance of activating it, and it is a very, very powerful tool in all fights. And yeah, with that being said, that is sort of the whole build. I didn't mention the Crystal Tiara because that's just sort of a blanket, obvious crit inclusion. When you go to Temple, you'll be finishing that there as well. So as far as your power spikes go, after you finish your first 3 zones, you are strong enough to kill anybody around you. You're going to take that time to get a kill or 2. You'll probably get some free materials off of their bodies. And if that doesn't seem to be panning out, you should just move on to farming animals and finishing up your Crystal Tiara and your Lace Quiver and Cube Watch in Temple and Avenue. Now, as for the more advanced swaps for the build, if you really want to be more advanced, you can grab scissors in Hospital, you can grab a fabric armor here in Cemetery, and you could keep your second steel. And when you get to Alley at some point, you can finish an Amazoness armor to replace your Crusaders. This gives you more durability and longevity in the later parts of the game, as Crusaders doesn't necessarily scale super well into the late game. Now, one more thing that makes this build really good is that it holds RNG items really well, and right now RNG items are very, very strong in the current meta. We're talking about mithril stuff, we're talking about stuff that builds out of VF samples, things that builds out of force cores. So since Isol can carry these so well, it actually lets him transition into the late game extremely well and not just be an early game cheese build. If you do manage to secure a mithril, I would recommend making a mithril shield. The mithril shield is actually quite good on this build, and if you do already have your Cube Watch, it's sort of up to you if you'd rather run mithril shield or Cube Watch. You're basically sacrificing some attack speed in order to get attack power and a little bit more movement speed. But really the choice is yours, the difference is fairly marginal. Additionally, if you happen to get an early VF sample or at any point in the game, I would strongly recommend replacing your Bucephalus with red shoes. Red shoes are basically just a straight upgrade to Bucephalus, so there's really no reason to even think about it. Just replace your Bucephalus with some red shoes late game, it gives you some lifesteal and it keeps your crit chance. It's just a great shoe choice and it's a really good RNG swap in the late game. Now, if you're looking for a more early game focused version of this build, I would recommend going for the motorcycle helmet, squad leader armband, and just regular quiver version of the build. What this focuses on is just finishing these 6 items within these 3 zones. Your motorcycle helmet won't be finished unless you get binoculars. You could dip into factory to grab the binoculars, or you could just sit on the blue helmet that comes right before motorcycle helmet. Either way, this set of 6 items is incredibly lethal in the early game, and you could just use this to kill people and rip stuff off their bodies to use instead. However, if you do want to be more focused for a full late game build, I would recommend the previous build that we talked about in the earlier part of this video. Now, as for your skilling order, I would recommend always putting a point in your R whenever available, followed by Q, E, passive, and then W. And that just about covers it for the build. Let's see it in action. So something you should always be sure that you do is that when you're in hospital, grab alcohol if you see it, and when you're in cemetery, grab coffee if you see it, because those two combined, plus your starting bread, gives you mocha bread, which is really good early game food. We kind of low rolled, we didn't get the fabric armor we needed, we didn't get the chain either. But it's more important that we just get to our next zone, so I'm just going to move on right away. Not waste too much time.
1분 후 항공 보급이 도착합니다.
Even got the materials to finish our weapon too, so we should find some stones right away. Make sure we get that done in case somebody rolls up to our area and we have the chance to get on them. Ooh, got across too. Nice. Fortunately, we have no chest to finish with it though.
생존자가 사망했습니다.
So even with a few pieces missing, we still managed to get a nice and easy first kill.
구역이 지정되었습니다.
I'm gonna take his accessory just to hold it temporarily. Honestly, some free Shukai food is not something I'm gonna complain about either. Oh, there's some glass. Nice, so we can finish our chest. Oh, there's a Jackie.
생존자가
Relatively nearby. Oh, there he is.
생존자가 사망했습니다. 생존자가 사망했습니다.
Ooh, they actually had a lot for us. It's a pretty big W right there. If you wanted to, you could keep the box for like a hot swap, but for convenience's sake, I'm gonna be dropping it for now, just to show you the build as it's meant to be played. But max HP is good for hot swapping in general. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, so we're actually in a strange position right now. We have access to an early VF sample, which you don't normally get. And with that, your best bet is probably just to make red shoes. So I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna go for some red shoes. But the problem is I do have this ping over here and I do want to chase it. So we'll see where that leads us first. Oh, not the boar.
누군가가 연쇄 처치 중입니다. 새 금지 구역이
Sorry, I'm like
지정되었습니다.
completely ping hungry right now. Like if I see things, I'm gonna chase them. Even though I should be finishing my gear. But I know this is like as strong as we're gonna get this entire game. This is our major power spike, so we might as well take advantage of it. We've already gotten 5 kills this early in the game, which is insane. I can probably just drop one of these things. Yeah, Jesus, that ice cream is insane. This food is so good. Okay, new target. Wait, where is it? Need some killer heals. I need some red shoes. Let's finish our headpiece. And let's go work on some killer heals. So by the way, when you're farming around the map, be sure to use your ultimate, because by dealing damage to animals, you are increasing your trap mastery, which means your ult's going to be dealing more damage later on in the game as well. It also means that you're getting free experience, because leveling at any sort of mastery levels all of your like general character level as well. So it's very important that you be doing that as you're going. We're gonna go back to Avenue. We can finish most of our shoes there. Should be like Avenue Dock to finish it. Oh, we got pings. You know what that means? As we go hard. Try to get the recute. Nice. So they actually do a ton of damage. So I'm gonna use that chance, since we're low on mana, to disengage. Try and get some health back, maybe re-engage if we get the chance. There's a good chance they're just sitting down in that bush. I can try and interrupt it with my W. Oh, they're already full HP again. Yeah, that's not worth it. Without our Q watch, it's not in our best interest to take this fight. This person is super built so far. Okay, we got Wick coming up in about 2 minutes. We need slippers and we need scrap metal. We also should be trying to farm animals while we get the chance to get our Q watch done. We've been fighting so many fights, we honestly haven't really had the chance to farm for a Q watch. So that's a little bit, I guess a little bit lazy on my part. Our hunt is quite low, but I mean our player count, we've been farming players, that's all I'm saying.
생존자가 사망했습니다.
Go to dock. Get our scrap metal. Also, while we're here, there's a good chance we might be able to catch like bears. Yes, nice. Okay. More chances of getting that moonstone. More chances of getting that Q watch done. There's the scrap metal. Since we don't have the Q watch done, I'm opting to sort of give up on Wick. If someone goes for it, that's fine. They can have it. I don't think we can really contest them because we haven't managed to finish our arm slot. We have nothing to sort of temporarily replace it with either, which is pretty rough. As far as bad RNG goes, this is definitely, you know, pretty bad. But we're going to try and make it work. That being said, if we did manage to sneak Wick, we could potentially make auto arms. That is a viable swap in. But since we have no mithril, no moonstone, none of that, it's pretty rough. I'm actually just going to start cracking boxes, because there's a good chance we'll get what we need. Yeah, like a cell phone actually works just fine. It's not great, but it's something. Yeah, Wick was picked up already. I'm guessing that was in Avenue. Someone was just camping it out. Is it Dylan? Okay, the Fury is approaching from below. So we have to be a little bit careful. We are not full health, we're not full mana. We're gonna try and rest up a bit before she shows up. It's a tough fight, honestly. Without our fully completed arm piece, it's gonna be pretty rough. We kind of have to play around traps. Oh, there's actually another person around here too? There's 2 people around here.
1분 후 항공 보급이 도착합니다. 누군가가 루미아 섬을 지배하고 있습니다.
트랩을 설치하기 좋은 곳이거든.
Oh shit. That's actually scary. Okay, we gotta get out of there. Ooh, man. We're gonna let them go at it. I'm gonna try and third party it. We'll see what happens though. Oh shoot.
여기가 나의 전장이다. 언제 터질지
누군가가
Nice.
생존자의 절반을 학살했습니다. 하지 못하리라.
방해하지 마라.
I'm gonna sit down.
뒤를 조심하자.
That was way too much fighting for me. I'm gonna sit down. Holy cow. Actually scary. There's a lot happening here. They're going at it. So Nadine just popped her ultimate.
쉬는 동안에도
I was not staying down this whole time. Nice. Okay. Nadine popped her ult.
목표물 확인.
Aya is very low. The Kiara is apparently somewhere. I have no idea where. Oh, she's up there. Gotcha. You know, I can actually take this Kiara on 1v1, I'm fairly sure. Weapon skill helped a bit there. Gonna swap that out for auto arms, I think.
트랩을 설치하기 좋은 곳이건. 쉬는 동안에도
Just to give me that extra beef, that extra defense.
잘 쓸게.
She had an Amazoness too. Honestly, I might hold on to that.
제대로 처리하지 못한 시체가
What's in the box? What do we got?
뭐가 들었어?
Smart bombs. Not bad. Not bad at all.
제대로 처리하지 못한 시체가
I'm gonna take the battle sign just in case it turns out that maybe my auto runs aren't that great. I might just want to switch back. What if there's a Q botch in here? Dude, okay, what if there's actually a Q botch in here though?
뭐가 들었으려
Not a Q botch. Kinda looked like one for a second. Kinda had me going.
같은 걸 구할 수 있겠군.
But it was not a Q botch.
1분 후 마지막 금지 구역이 지정됩니다.
Okay, I actually kinda like the attack speed.
시설 주변은
I
임시
changed my mind.
안전지대로 설정됩니다.
Forget the auto arms.
방해한다면 어쩔 수 없지.
So then the Aya is like not full build. The Nadine has far more mastery.
잘 가라.
I'm looking to third party this last fight. I want to see the Aya and the Nadine fight. I go in and I kill the Nadine.
누군가가 연쇄
Okay,
처치
it's just a
중입니다.
1v1 then. That's gonna be a little bit scary. Possibly.
눈앞길 기도하라고.
But we're giving her no chance to set up traps. We're giving her no chance to give herself like a safe zone to potentially fight in. She's kinda amp based, so I might even want to be on Amazoness.
다녀보고 싶었습니다.
I'm not sure.
확인.
시간을 조심하는 게 좋을 거야.
잘 가라. 눈앞길 기도하라고.
Okay, we did a decent amount of damage to her. She's gonna have to come in soon. We're gonna have... Ooh. She traded back though. We're gonna have to start putting down the smart bombs.
생존 전략일
꽤
뿐이야.
늘어지지.
That hit me. Wow.
분필 같은 걸 구할 수 있겠군. 피를 막는 게 좋을 거야. 생존 전략일 뿐이야. 타겟 확인.
울부짖어라.
She popped her ult, so I'm gonna back up.
조준.
Give myself some space to breathe. She hit some of my traps too, so that's putting her pretty low pretty quickly into this fight.
보안 컨트롤 주변이 임시
Tagged her with the Q.
안전지대로 설정됩니다. 임시 안전지대가
Get some damage in.
서둘러주세요.
And we got her.
전설이
Nice, that's how you do it.
승리했습니다.
You know, we didn't even get to finish the Q-botch either, but we were sort of kind of blessed by that early VF sample. This build genuinely is insane. You're so strong early in the game, you're strong in the mid game, and if you manage to farm up, get the right RNG pieces in the late game, you're really strong then too. Again, shout out to Ezter for the full rundown on this build, and yeah, this build's awesome. Give it a shot and let me know what you think.